Thank you so much for joining us today. We are joined by Dr. Dr. Gaither. Dr. Gaither is a board-certified family physician, has been for over 23 years. Dr. Gaither is also the author of Powerful Words. He is also a speaker, trainer, and coach, and helps organizations detect, prevent, and mitigate job-related burnout. Dr. Gaither, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us some of the outcomes that you see from burnout in organizations, from the individuals that you're working with and the leaders?
Well, when you go into an organization that has job-related burnout present, you see the three principal hallmarks of job-related burnout, which are emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and a lack of a sense of personal accomplishment. Individuals who become emotionally exhausted feel that they can no longer give on an emotional level to the client or customer or patient. Second comes depersonalization, where the individual employee becomes very cynical, and they come to believe that the patient or client is really deserving of their problems. And then the last is a lack of a sense of personal accomplishment, where the individual feels like they're just no longer making a difference in the workplace. And this can be immensely discouraging to the employee.
And what is this burnout costing organizations today?
Well, as you know, most administrators want to attract and retain talent. And when you're turning over employees rapidly, it can be extremely costly to an organization, especially if you're losing them over something like job-related burnout, which can be actually detected and prevented or mitigated. So reducing job-related burnout actually lowers costs to an organization.
Dr. Gaither, you do training on burnout for organizations. Can you walk us through a little bit what that looks like?
Well, first would be an overall assessment of the workplace to see if any of the mismatches, there are 6 major mismatches between the employee and the job that they're being asked to do that can lead to job-related burnout. So first would be an assessment of those mismatches. And the second would be the application of the Maslach burnout inventory. It is the industry gold standard for assessing job-related burnout. So that questionnaire would be administered to all the employees. Depending on the outcome of those two things, programs would be put in place to help mitigate or prevent job-related burnout. And then at some point later on, a follow-up Maslach burnout inventory would be applied. And that way you could gauge any progress that has been made.
And who is this training geared for?
Well, any administrator who has a large number of employees that they feel like are turning over too rapidly really needs to do a burnout assessment, because what they would spend assessing the workplace for burnout and putting some program in place to prevent it would be a fraction of what it costs them in employee turnover. So any physician administrator of a large group or hospital or any large employer, it could be an attorney group or a large dental practice or an integrated provider group of some other sort, they could benefit from job-related burnout assessment and mitigation if present.
And Dr. Gaither, what are some of the outcomes that have been with organizations working with you?
Well, of course, if the employee becomes more satisfied with their work environment, they will stay. And so employee turnover goes down, which saves a lot of money. But then there are the indirect savings. The client or customer or patient satisfaction rates go up, complaint rates go down, malpractice suits go down. And so it's really a win-win-win for all parties involved.
Dr. Gaither, how can we get in touch with you to learn more about your training?
The easiest way would be to go to my website at drgaither.com. There is a contact tab at the top, and that would be the easiest way to get in touch with me. There are also some other tabs at the top with other information about some of the services I provide.
Dr. Gaither, thanks so much for joining us. And again, if you're interested in learning more about Dr. Gaither's coaching or speaking, or perhaps his training that he does for organizations, you can visit him again at his website. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.